Hello, listeners. This is Lee Price.
This is Will Ford from Football 365.
And you're listening smartly to At the Bridge Pod, a Chelsea FC podcast, although I would describe it as the Chelsea FC podcast.
Magical from Eden Hazard. Kai Havertz in the Champions League final. Ivanovic! In the middle, it's just behind him. But it's tapped in by Hakim Ziyech. Matic with the ball driver. Matic takes the net off.
It's time for another episode of At the Bridge Pod, your number one Chelsea FC podcast. Coming up on this episode.
There's a long range effort. And that's an absolutely sensational goal from Moises Caicedo.
Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of At the Bridge Pod. And I'm joined in a virtual room filled with all the Lions. Ollie, I've got Berth, I've got Chris. And I need your moments from the final weekend of the season. Or you could, anything else, doesn't matter. What were your moments? Chris, what was your moment?
Chelsea women at Old Trafford.
Oh, yeah. It's got to be, right?
100%.
Yeah, just, it was so unexpected for it to be that comfortable in the end.
Yeah, that's quite fair, actually.
But that first half was like, wow, to do that in such a high pressure game, and Myra Ramirez just turned up and thought, "What's that? You want to win the title? Well, I'll have it done by half time.
I'll do it myself. Do it myself."
He was unplayable.
She was outstanding. Oh, Berth, I mean, I'm not going to mock you about what was your highlight?
Right, you all want me to tell this
listeners
story,
don't know what we were.
what
was
you
being
all
said
want me
earlier.
to tell? Right, so I went to the pub yesterday. I was to watch the football.
He did.
I see Mike in there. Which
I was
obviously is
there.
a highlight.
I was there.
Mike is a highlight of my
Oh, it
weekend,
is.
of
I was
course.
there.
But the story you lot want me to tell, right, is what I've just told you. So they were obviously showing the Man City game, showing the Arsenal game,
They were.
and I didn't realise the Chelsea game was on TV.
No.
So I started watching that on my Sky Go on my phone. Now I've gone to the toilet at this point. I've gone to the urinal, and in the pub that we're in, it's quite a cramped space. I can't lie to you, and I'm just basically holding my phone with one hand whilst going to the toilet. Now next to me is a guy, and he just says to me, "Are you videoing yourself?" And I've obviously gone, "No, I'm watching the Chelsea game." And then, without even thinking, I just went, "Moises Caicedo just scored from the halfway line." And it must have been probably the most random thing I've ever done, and the weirdest, but I didn't really cotton on how weird it was until I've told you now and told it on this podcast. Yeah.
He thought you were weird, and it turns out you were just a completely different kind of weird.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, I was just really excited to tell people about Caicedo. I wanted to share the love of Caicedo. So
I mean, I don't know if Ollie's highlight was Chelsea related. Was it?
Yeah, it was actually, because listen, it's already was mentioned in Berth's thing. Someone was also it was Moises Caicedo scoring from the goddamn halfway line.
Oh,
that's what it was.
Right. Despite being told that I had time to delete the tweet when I said I found my moment of the weekend, that tweet's still alive. It's fighting, and as tradition, I try not to choose a Chelsea related moment because that'd be too easy. So, and there was a lot, as you've already said, my picks, if I was choosing Chelsea, both picks, the women's team and Caicedo. But for me, the moment of the weekend goes to Jake Davis of Sporting Kansas City with a worldie. Oh my God.
Goal.
Oh, it's so good. It's on the feed. Have a look. It's incredible. And hey, Sporting Kansas City have scored more goals from outside the box than any other team in the MLS this season. And it was special. Wow. I bloody love the MLS. I love it. And if you haven't seen it, just check it out, please. It's brilliant.
I will say though, Sporting Kansas City sounds like a name, like a not real name. Like
it sounds like a Sunday League team.
They used to be called the Kansas City Wizards, which was such a better name.
That is a better name. Like calling
So
yourself Sporting
better.
Kansas City, it just sounds like it's like on Pez where they don't have the license for the rest.
That's what it sounds like.
That's true.
Right.
Sorry, I have to do this before I forget. So obviously I started a new job a couple of weeks ago. I was telling the lads I work with about the podcast today, and they said, "Can we have a shout out?" So they're probably going to be listening. So shout out to Andy and Ben. Please don't sack me.
No,
they're going to enjoy the
Andy
podcast.
And Ben, now you've learned something new about your colleague you didn't know.
Yeah, and
exactly.
They're going to be gutted when Berth takes over the Bayern job. Oh, they're going to be gutted when he goes. He's waiting for a phone call.
Maybe.
He's waiting.
I think he's about 2 or 3 more rejections away from it, I think.
Yeah, I'm not far off. I'm not far off.
Double match report time for the final time of the 23-24 season. And of course, we do start with an outstanding day in Manchester on Saturday as Chelsea, they knew they had to match City's result to secure that 5th straight WSL title. And it was done in style. I mean, Manchester United 0, Chelsea 6. I know. Super Fran said goodbye with a goal. We scored 6. Musovic clean sheet. Emma Hayes' legacy cemented. Chris, I know you're smiling. I can see it. Let those thoughts out. Let them out.
I'm going to hear how smug Chris's face is.
I can't believe it.
I mean, is there a more perfect game than that? To do it at Old Trafford.
Yeah.
To do it 6-0. To have Frank Kirby come off the bench and score. Clean sheet. I don't think it could have gone any better if you'd asked the fans to design the day. I think that's what we would have picked that game. So it was a perfect day all around. I thought Ramirez was absolutely outstanding, but you know, I think I want to shout out Guro Reiten, who hasn't had the best season, but since the first whistle against Bristol City, she has took personal responsibility for making sure Emma Hayes ended with the title. She scored 4 that day. She scored. She got the assist against Tottenham. She got the assist for the opening goal against Man United. It's like she just decided, no, we're not having Emma leave without a title. And I think she deserves a lot of credit for that, because it is hard when you haven't been informed to just suddenly turn it on. But that is what big players do, and she has become one of those players in this Chelsea team now who do turn up in those big moments.
I mean, I honestly, I still cannot believe that we are here right now talking about a 5th straight title, because especially after Liverpool, I mean, that game broke me. I broke my heart. I mean, I knew I was like 0 trophies, but this team
after the Barcelona tie in the Champions League, we all thought the season was kind of dead and buried, and to come back the way we did, like in the style we did, it really shows the strength and the mentality of this team, and like what we're looking at right now. What we've got to remember is they're a dynasty. We are so lucky to be looking at like a team that's won 5 WSL titles in a row. That might never be beaten. No,
I mean, wow, this team do not quit. They do not die. And we had the toughest game to end the season. We did it in style. I mean, 6 goals. Myra Ramirez was unbelievable. I mean, she didn't just come up clutch. She put on a show. Absolute world class. What a signing. Super Fran, substitute, final game, scores. That's the fairy tale ending. For me, that game, Manchester United were left looking like Old Trafford, worn down and broken.
Yeah.
That
pretty much sums it up.
Yeah, 2 goals. Only took 2 minutes to get on the score sheet as well. It was a little bit like Man City's game, the Man City men's game in the Premier League.
Yeah,
finished the title off, but they sort of took it straight away and went, "We're not letting anything go here," and they immediately just went and did it. And
it wasn't even close. That title race wasn't even close, because City didn't even get close to the goal scored that they needed. It just wasn't even close, and that we all feared it. We all feared that. I think we'd given up after Liverpool, but wow, who cares? With 5th straight title, well done to every single member of that squad, and Emma, absolutely outstanding. And that's the thing. This team embodies everything Emma Hayes stands for. You know, she has instilled this elite mentality in the women's side.
And she really deserved like a performance like that to have a send off for everything she's done. They deliver
when it matters most, and I, as a fan, couldn't be more proud of what she and the team have accomplished. It was just the perfect way to cap off her tenure as manager as well.
You know what? As well, I think it was actually a better way to win the league for her last time doing it than if we just steamrolled the league and won it by like 7 points and it was over.
If you win it
with
in like
weeks
March
remaining
or whatever,
I think that was a much better way, because it just sort of embodied everything that she's instilled in this team in the 12 years that she's been there.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
Well said.
I
Well
mean,
said.
I can't wait. I can't wait to see what the future holds for her at the US women's national team, and of course us under Bumper Store. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be awesome. Right. We move to the final Premier League match report of the season. And I'm not going to sponsor it by... Go on. Sponsored by Caicedo, deciding to be the absolute best ever flop of the season with an absolute worldie of the season. Chelsea 2, Bournemouth 1. We start with the winners, as we always do. Who we got and how many we got?
Well,
three.
I've got 3. Yeah, I've got 3, and everyone else should have 3. Shouldn't they, Chris?
Hat-trick for
Yeah,
me.
got 3. I've got 3. Don't worry.
Naturally.
Good. They're the rules.
I was tempted for the final game of the season to do more than 3, but I thought, well, you got to stick with it.
You're better than that. That's why. You know?
No, I'm not.
No, he's not. Come on, let's not lie to him.
Right. I'll be quite quick out the blocks here. Moises Caicedo. I mean...
Yep, he was on mine. He was on mine.
I think if he's not on everyone.
Chris.
No, I left him off
Boo.
mainly because I knew everyone else was going to pick him.
Okay,
So I picked
that's
3
the
different
only
people.
reason.
All
that
right,
can
we'll
be-
allow that.
That's the only
Yeah.
reason.
I mean, look, he's a winner because what a hit, son. What a hit.
Oh.
I've never been more impressed by a 100 million transfer bust, a transfer flop. And you know what? I've got to say, we need to make more dreadful signings like Caicedo because that goal.
do.
Is that the furthest out a Chelsea player has ever scored in the Premier League? I think it might be.
Yeah, I think it is.
Gotta be.
It's got to be.
Gotta be.
It's got to be.
I mean,
Yeah.
that goal is outstanding class. I wouldn't land that shot if I had 200 tries. I love how people go, it's quite easy, there's no goalkeeper. From that distance, with that power, under pressure, Caicedo made it look like he just does it in his sleep. And
You're forgetting
Go on.
it didn't bounce.
No, it did not.
It didn't bounce. Yes.
It didn't bounce.
That's the important thing. It didn't fucking bounce. It
You
was
know
that
what?
good.
That might just be our goal of the season candidate.
I think that should be. I think that should be the Premier League goal of the season.
I loved
I don't know.
Garnacho's too much.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I have to.
You know, that's a fair shout.
Garnacho's is unbelievable.
That's a fair shout. And
That's
as well, like
second.
you say,
It's a justifiable. It's no shame to lose to Garnacho.
I don't know. I think it'd be close. I think.
I mean, tell me about Caicedo. Go on, just go for it.
I think the thing is about Caicedo, like goal apart, I actually thought he's probably the best player on the pitch anyway.
Yeah,
I thought he
agree.
was. And I thought this earlier. I think if he was to play like he did from January onwards for the whole season, I think he'd probably be our player of the season, maybe behind Cole Palmer. He's been absolutely fantastic, and again, you're going to say, "Oh, well, he plays better without Enzo." Maybe he does, but he's been an absolute monster in that midfield, and he does just win the ball back in unbelievable places. His passing's better. You can tell he's more confident on the ball. I mean, to even take that shot on is just a sign that he's confident at the minute. And I like the blonde hair as well. I can't lie, the blonde hair just adds to the profile. But yeah, I thought he
Kind
was
of gone up a level
fantastic.
since he's dyed it as well.
Yeah, I mean, he's been really, really good. And again, I'm not saying he is, but he is reminding me more and more of Kante the more I watch him. And hopefully he can take his form into next season. If he does, he's going to be a hell of a player next season.
Yeah. You know what? Chris, who's your winner that's not Caicedo?
Raheem Sterling.
Oh,
Yeah, he was on mine, actually.
He was
Yeah,
actually one of mine. I thought he had a
Yeah.
really good game.
I
Yeah,
thought
okay.
right from the first minute, the first time he got the ball, he went past the fullback, and I thought, oh, Sterling looks like he's actually on it today. You can always tell by the first time Sterling touches the ball what sort of game he's going to have. Yeah, thought he was really positive throughout, linked up well with the other attackers, played with an energy,
Had a
scored
really
a goal.
good defensive game as well. Like won the
Yeah.
ball back quite a few times, which you
Yeah.
really don't expect of him. You know, like I said, he's always a winner for me when he scores.
Yeah, I mean, I think the goalkeeper's absolutely terrible for the goal, but I just think as well, like he held the ball up well when he had his back to goal. I just thought it was like it was Sterling on a good day, which shows that he does still have enough in the locker to be part of the squad. I think. Like I know a lot of people are saying that he's one of the players that you've got to sell, but I don't know. I'm always torn on Sterling because I think
Because you can't rely on him, but he does win the game.
Yeah, because if he's willing to be around the squad and not starting every week, I actually think he's really valuable to have. I just think he lets himself down when he gets a run of games because he has a fair few bad games in that run. But I think if he wasn't playing every week and you wasn't relying on him, like we haven't done as the season's gone on with Cole Palmer stepping up and Jackson being more involved, I do think he's still really valuable.
Yeah. His goal scoring record's actually been all right season. How many he's got in the Premier League now? Is it
8, I think.
7 or 8, something like that.
Yeah.
It's not bad, really, considering he hasn't played as much, really.
No.
More than
It's
last
not a
season.
bad return. I guess the thing is with Sterling is you expect a lot from him for his age, the team he came from, the kind of player he is, like the age he is and how much money he's on and all of that stuff. But if you strip all that back and if you ignore all the context, which I know sounds bad, if you strip it back and you ignore all the context, he's a player who will get you goals and win you games. He just is.
And he's always been like that. He's always been like that.
Yeah, exactly. And he will continue to do that for us until we sell him. And then wherever we sell him to, he will do that there as well.
Yeah, I think
agreed.
that's very fair. Right. I guess some of you are down to just one more winner.
Yes.
Okay. So I will jump. You know what, Chris? Give the second winner.
Conor Gallagher.
Yeah, class.
Yeah, he got a hug
class.
at the end. He got a hug at the
Yeah,
end.
I think as well, because I do think his performances have dropped off a little bit in the past couple of weeks, but I thought he was back to his best yesterday.
He was playing like if he didn't have a good performance, he was getting sold in the summer.
Yeah. And do you know what, as well with him? Like, for the Caicedo goal, he goes and puts pressure on the goalkeeper.
Yeah.
Which means he can't clear the ball properly. Like, I don't think that was picked up on enough.
You're right. It doesn't happen without Gallagher's run.
Yeah, a lot of people there, once the keeper's made the tackle on Sterling, would have just give it up and let the keeper hoof it long. But Gallagher sprinted over to put pressure on, which meant he fucked up the clearance, which fell straight to Caicedo, and then obviously the rest is history. But I just think he was all over the pitch, used the ball really well. I just thought it was back to Gallagher, what he's been for most of the season, and just showing again why it would be lunacy to sell him in the summer.
Yeah. I mean, right, my second winner, 6th place. I mean, we finished in 6th place. After the start to the season that we had, and that first half of the season, we genuinely, said it before, we are truly a cat up a tree. We have no idea how we got here, but I just don't care. I mean, we've secured European football for next season. It's a Conference League spot. That would obviously change to a Europa League spot if City do win the FA Cup. We finish above Newcastle. We finish above Manchester United. We end the season with the 3rd best form in the league. Only Arsenal and City have been better in better form. Wow. I cannot believe that we are there. I really did not expect that. And that's why it's a winner, because I just didn't expect it. Yep. Still kind of feel like we did. I still feel like it's not real because how poor we were.
Yeah, we kind of sleepwalked into 6th, if you know what I mean. Yeah. We hit the form at the right time, but I think any other season, if we had been on it for the whole season this season, we'd have made the top 4, no doubt.
Yeah.
You know what? You know what else as well, though? We've done it playing really good football. Like, we've done this sort of thing before where we've been like shit and then we've picked up on a good run of form, but it's just been getting results like 1-0, 2-1, not really dominating games, but just getting over the line, scoring off set pieces. We've actually had this form, getting these results, playing really good football as well.
Couldn't agree more.
I think the thing is as well, I think, right, if you said to me at the start of the season, we'd got into a final, a semi-final, and got 6th place, I probably would have took it, to be honest.
Yeah, I
genuinely probably would have took it. So
yeah, I think a lot of people would have done.
Yeah. My 3rd winner is Thiago Silva.
Yeah,
he was mine as well.
Oh, nice. Yeah. We'll end it proper. I mean, look, he's a winner because he's a winner. It was an emotional guard of honour. It was an emotional goodbye speech. He arrived for what we believe to be just a single season. He stayed for 4. He's a Champions League winner. Finally, after all those long seasons, We're going to miss him so much. And hey, he seems to want to come back. His family is staying here from what I'm gathering. So maybe he spends 1 year in Brazil with Fluminense and then he comes back and somehow with the board or whatever he wants to do at Chelsea, he seems to be coming back.
I think it's important that we kind of keep that good relationship with him and want him to come back, because in losing him, we're going to lose so much experience. We're going to lose like a cool head in the dressing room. We're going to lose that organization. Like someone next season, if we don't sign someone, which with our policy we won't, if we're without signing someone of his caliber and his experience and just his class, it's going to be a real hole to fill next season.
The thing is with Silva as well, he was a winner for me for what he said. I thought he had a good game as well, but for what he said
speech,
after,
wasn't it?
Yeah, and I don't know whether the quote was before the game or after the game, where he said about this season, although we've picked up and we've achieved something, it's not good enough for the standard that this club needs to be at. And that's the sort of mentality that we are going to miss, because while those players will be celebrating getting sixth, which I think is a good achievement when you put into context the season, you still need people in that dressing room like Thiago Silva who's saying, yeah, that's fine, but that's still not where this club needs to be. Because if you start over-celebrating in the dressing room, mediocre successes, that's when you do become those sort of mediocre clubs who are happy to just be getting fourth. And it's the people like Thiago Silva who continue to drag that standard up and make sure that, yes, finishing sixth this season is great, but this club should be first. That's where the club should be. So I do think we're going to miss that massively, and I don't think it's going to be long before he's back. I think a year, and he'll be back in some capacity.
I think he generally is like my favourite, or at least top three, definitely my favourite ever Chelsea signing. I think
nice.
He's been an incredible player, considering his age as well. I just don't think that gets talked about enough. That he came to us when he was 36.
Yeah,
all expected just a season.
And he's been arguably at no point has he dropped out the top three centre backs in the league or top five centre backs in the league. And he's it's cliche, but he is proper Chelsea, and he gets the club and he gets the fans, and he's really sort of become a legend of that club. And I've said it on previous podcasts, I think he's probably the second best centre back I've seen at Chelsea behind John Terry. And what a servant, and everyone will miss him, and it'd be a great loss in the dressing room. And hopefully we'll be back at the bridge sooner rather than later.
The thing is with Silva, I actually think his time in the Premier League has been really underrated because he hasn't been in the best Chelsea teams. I think if our team as a whole is better and we're challenging for the league, even if we're not winning it, if we're challenging it, if we're in the top three, I think he easily, at least once, maybe twice, makes Premier League team of the season. I think he's been that good and that consistent. But the reason why he won't is because of where we've finished as a team, and they never put players like that in.
I think if he played alongside John Terry, I think he'd be a Premier League legend.
I think if he played alongside Terry, I think there would be a real chance for them together to break our 15 goals conceded in a season record.
100%.
Yeah. I think and to be honest, I think they're the only two that could do it.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Right, losers. I only have two.
I did find three.
Wow.
I've got three.
Wow, bloody hell. You know what? I'll just run through my first one. The end of the season. Just, our form towards the back end. Well, the whole second half's been outstanding, and now we have to wait till the 24th of July for our next game. It's going to be a long wait. That's why to lose it, I'm just sad. I was like,
I genuinely, I can't believe football.
I can't believe I'm sad the season's over.
Yeah, how football does this to us, doesn't it? Where we've had, by all accounts and by Chelsea standards, a horrible season.
I mean, we were sad.
Last season.
We were sad last season for different reasons.
Yeah, and so now we've got all this Stockholm syndrome because we've ended the season where we're like, I can't wait till they're back. We're fiending for more football. I can't wait for the Euros.
And you know what? I'll go for my second loser because it's a quick one, and it's potential stupidity. So Todd, if you're listening, don't make the stupid decision to sack Pochettino.
Oh God, yeah, please.
Don't make the stupid decision to sell Conor Gallagher, and don't make the stupid decision to think you know better than the manager of this club about the playing squad.
Yeah.
Didn't work last time. It ain't going to work this time. Stop it. Let him do his job. That's why you employed him. If you're that bothered, employ yourself as manager. Please don't do that. Don't do that. Don't make the stupid decision to employ yourself as manager. No. You know what? I'll go all three losers. I'm more than happy to. We'll do it for a one-off. We'll go to Ollie. Ollie, who are your losers?
All right, first loser, and you guys will probably want to weigh on this. It's actually Cole Palmer. For actually the last few games of the season, he's kind of dropped off a little bit. And I thought this was kind of his, like, as it being the last game of the season, I thought he was quite poor, to be honest with you. I didn't really think he was cutting about doing as much as he usually does. Still got an assist for Sterling's goal, mind you, but yeah, it just wasn't quite at the races for me today.
He's played a lot, though, to be fair. He has played an awful lot.
Oh, listen, he's carried the team on his back.
Yeah.
But if we're just looking at just this game, he wasn't great.
Yeah, he's on my list as well for the same reason. I thought his passing was really poor. Decision making was really poor. Do you know what? He looked like a player to me who didn't want to get injured before the Euros.
Jen, do you know what? Given the year he's had, that might be fair.
Yeah.
You
get that a lot in the last game, to be fair.
Yeah, I'm surprised. I'm surprised. Maybe that's why Sterling played so well. He thought, I'm not getting in the squad anyway. My second loser was defending, because I just thought generally we were quite poor at that. I thought actually, despite how much we're talking about like good moments that happened, a lot of the good that happened in the game kind of happened in small moments in the game or around the game rather than the game itself. Because especially in the second half, I thought we were very poor. We invited Bournemouth on a lot. There were certainly a few times where they probably should have scored, especially then they had that open goal in the second half. They had a chance. I can't remember. He blazed it over the bar. Who it was?
Solanke.
Yeah, Solanke blazed it over the bar. Thank you. And for their goal as well, it was just really poor the way we conceded straight after scoring and like with the like just switching off. You know, Cucurella gets caught flat-footed. Badiashile lazily leaves a leg in, you know, like, and so it comes off him and goes past Petrovic. It's just a really sloppy kind of goal to concede, and so that and just general other defending was substandard, I would say.
Okay. What was your final loser?
My final loser was refereeing. Because again,
there's a shock.
I know. And thank fuck we don't have to talk about refereeing decisions now for another few months.
Hey!
We just have to talk about VAR and all of that. But there were, especially with Sterling's penalty in the first.
Oh my god!
Half, I can't believe how that wasn't a penalty. I will never know how that wasn't a penalty. The commentators at the time said apparently that it was because Sterling moved into the zone where the defender was. And it's like, he's trying to score a goal, mate. Like he's moving towards the goal. It's now illegal it's now illegal to try and score a goal, basically, to try and like move towards the defender. And as well as that. And then you had I can't remember who it was on the on Bournemouth's defense, but Cucurella. The ball looked like it wasn't quite out of play, so he put it out of play. And then he gets chucked to the ground. Semenya, that was it. Who shouldn't have even been on the pitch, by the way. And he gets thrown to the ground by Semenya. And then the referee comes over and books them both. I couldn't believe it.
I didn't get that at all.
Cucurella. So just so we're aware, folks, it's now illegal to score a goal, and it's to try and score a goal, and it's illegal to be thrown to the ground. And being thrown to the ground and throwing someone to the ground are worth the same. It's just
ridiculous.
I can't make any sense of it. I don't know if they've changed the standard for it, but it seems whatever pendulum they've swung, it's gone back too far the other way again, and it needs to go back the other way now.
Right.
Yeah.
Birth losers.
Right. So my first one is actually going to be Pochettino. Not because he's done anything wrong in the past.
He's getting sacked.
Because but not even that. Like, I don't think he's going to be sacked. I honestly don't think he's going to be sacked. It's worrying, but I don't think he will. But fans still don't think he's actually done a good job. But when you really look at it and look at the bigger picture,
I don't.
He's
get
actually
it either.
He's improved that team. He's done really well with what he's had. He's had a lot of stick, and he's been a bit of a scapegoat. But he's actually handled and conducted himself really well. Yeah, been bashed about a few times by Arsenal and that, but I think when you look at it, we've actually played really good football this season. Chris alluded to it earlier.
Yeah.
And we've been crying out for a manager to actually make us play good football. Even if we lose, at least we're playing the right way. And now that we're scoring goals, he's getting our attackers to score goals. When have he ever said that about a Chelsea manager?
Yeah,
and he's still getting stick. And I think it's really unfair. And I do think a lot of Chelsea fans want him to stay. And I think he deserves to stay.
You know what else as well?
No, go on, Chris.
I'm not even a Poch fan. Like if someone said, "Do you like him?" I'd say, "No, not really." But I'm just judging him by what he's actually doing though, and what he's actually doing is good enough. The second half of the season has been good enough, so I'm willing to say, "Well, keep him in charge while it's good enough." I'm not saying, "Oh, give him a 5-year contract." Don't sack him for 5 years. He deserves the time. No, just keep seeing if this momentum carries on into next year. I just don't understand why you would have had the first half of the season we had where we was utter shite, and you kept him. And then when he has a good half of the season, you sack him. That makes no sense.
Yeah, I agree with that. And it doesn't seem like we're not trying to absolve Pochettino of any blame or of anything else that he's done wrong in the season, because we all know he's made mistakes. Just look at Chilwell on the left wing. Nobody's going to let him ever forget that. But there's a lot he's doing now that is good enough, and the players seem to like him. The players want to run for him. Which, when is the last time you could say that about a Chelsea manager? It seems now that things are finally moving in the right direction, and not to mention, just on a practical standpoint as well, if you sack Pochettino now, your picks for a manager are what,
David Moyes,
De Zerbi and Moyes.
David Moyes.
Whereas if you want to sack him in 2025, which you may well do when his contract is up, then you've got Xabi Alonso, Honus, Guardiola might be leaving. I know that's pie in the sky, but better managers are available, and he's doing well enough now.
How'd you sack a man who has no job? His contract's ended.
Well, yeah, when he leaves. Although I did hear apparently next season it triggers a 1+1, so he does have the option to extend.
I know, and they're going to look and go, David Moyes recently won a European trophy. Yeah, it's true, he did. He did. Oh my word.
Oh man.
Here we go. Right. Have you already gone through all your? I've already.
I haven't. I've just said Pochettino. So the other one I'll go through quickly. Badia Shield. I thought he was actually all right, but scored.
For the goal was awful.
Scored an own goal.
Yeah, for that goal.
Yeah, lazy defending. It's
real poor defending.
Yeah.
Real poor defending. But I actually thought overall he played a good game. But for that alone, I thought he had to be a loser.
You had to come over to my table within a minute of that first goal.
Yeah, I did.
It's 2-1 now. For fuck's sake.
The thing is, I couldn't find the bloke that I found in the toilet, so I had to come over to you. But the third one, and it isn't going to be Tottenham fans this week. It's going to be Arsenal fans this week because they're just as deluded as Spurs fans, and some of the things I've been. I heard one Arsenal fan on TikTok earlier say, "Oh, I'd much rather be an Arsenal fan than Man City." Shut up! Shut up!
Do you know what,
mate?
Every single team that loses thinks they've invented losing gracefully. Get over it. You lost.
Do you know why Arsenal fans are so funny at the minute though? Because they are Tottenham. When they used to take the piss out of Tottenham. Remember when Tottenham was in the title race and it was, we nearly did it. Let's celebrate nearly doing it. And now Arsenal are exactly the same. It's a season to be proud of. You've won nothing, mate.
No.
You've won exactly the same as us.
You've spent 170 million on Havertz and Rice to go from second to second.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that.
Yeah.
Chris, your losers, go for it.
So I had Cole Palmer, like I said earlier, for the similar reasons to Ollie. I've got Madueke. Just didn't really do a lot again. Lost the ball a few times when trying to go past people. Just sort of a game that passed him by. And I think the problem with players like Madueke, who are still trying to build up credit, is your lasting impression of him now is sort of a nothing game. So in the summer now, when people are like, well, would you sell Madueke? Everyone will look back on his sort of last 2 games of the season and think, yeah, I probably would actually. Even though he was really good for like 3 or 4 weeks before that, his lasting impression over the summer now is, yeah, he's okay. I just think when you're someone like him, you have those last couple of games are really important to leave a mark and an impression. and he didn't. And then my last one is Kukurea, who I thought had a really poor game.
Yeah.
I say really poor. It was like every time he did something well, he followed it up by doing something bad. So it's like you'd watch him and he'd be like, "Oh, that was good defending. Oh, that's a shit pass." Or "Oh, that's a good. That's a good pass. Oh, he's beat you there." And I thought again, I don't think he was great on the goal that we conceded either.
Yeah, so
But
flat-footed.
yeah, he's another one where he seems to have been struggling more the less he's been inverting. Because when like Gusto's been playing, when Gusto's come on the pitch, he's been inverting less and playing more as an actual left back. And I think he's been struggling more there than playing as like a centre mid, which is weird. But yeah, I just thought it was quite a poor game from him. But he's another one I'd still keep in the summer, even though some people again are still absolutely convinced that he should be sold like half our squad apparently.
Yeah. I mean, it's fucking wild, isn't it? I mean, we shouldn't. It'll be interesting to see how we go forward with everything with PSR and all that nonsense. But hey, we'll see.
Yeah.
What did you have for emojis? I had crying face because just Silva. It was a bit of emotional. So long, partner.
I went with the bed emoji because that's where we've put this season.
Yeah.
Nice. I'll go with the blue heart because I think that's this team have started to put the heart back into Chelsea again.
Nice.
And I've gone for the goat emoji because Thiago Silva's the goat.
Yes,
Very
he
nice.
is, Buff.
Fair play. Fair play. Right. Line of the week for the final time for the season. And it was Nkunku, Caicedo, Jackson, and Chalobah. Who had Caicedo? Was it Berth?
I think it was me.
I had Nkunku.
Yeah, it was you, Ollie. You doubled
Chalobah.
down on him.
Wow.
Yeah, do you know what? I said he'd score from the halfway line. No, I didn't.
He did.
He
did.
Imagine.
Wow. Bloody hell. Right, end of season awards because it's on my voice crack then. Well, there we go. Awards. So the end of season awards time. We do it every year. We've got player of the season for the men's team. I think it.
That is.
That's a difficult one, I think.
Don't switch off, listeners. We might surprise you.
I went with I went with Cole Palmer. Of course, I did.
Did you? Wow.
Yeah.
I'm shocked. No, I'm fucking with you.
That's weird. I went with Ugo Chukwu.
Malong Sar.
I actually went with David Washington.
No, but
yes.
it's
Everyone's unanimous.
We've all gone with Cole Palmer. Yeah.
We all know why.
This will be good. We'll move up. Palmer, you've had enough time in the spotlight. So, new award, and that is the player of the season for the women's team. Now, I don't think anyone is going to pick the player I picked. So, I will say, I went Aggie Beaver Jones because what a season. England call up. That's all you need to know. There you go. Outstanding season. I still can't believe it. How outstanding. I'm looking forward to next season. She could take it to another level. We are very fortunate. We produce some good players.
Very special player.
Incredible. Who did you have though? Who did you have?
It is tough, I think, because there is a few this year. But I'm going to go with someone who I actually think has been really consistent all season. And I think when you're looking at player of the season, I think consistency should be the key thing you look for. And always overlooked. I'm going to go with Erin Cuthbert.
Yeah, that's fair. Actually, that's a good shout. That's a really good shout. Damn, that's a good shout, actually. Yeah, fair play. I was just checking, see what her rating was over the whole season, see what they've got. See if she's like the best player.
I think I can only remember like one game where I thought she's been poor today. The rest of them, she's really, really solid and good. She's very much like Caicedo, like just that consistent between a 7 and an 8 every week.
Her overall rating for this season was a 7.49, 3 player of the match awards. So she's pretty good. Right, Berth, who was your pick?
You know what, Mark, I'm going to agree with you. I think Aggie Beaver Jones has been really impressive.
She has.
I think maybe player of the year is maybe it was a bit of a struggle. But I think she's the one that's actually stood out and impressed me and sort of surpassed my expectations. So I think, I'm going to have to give it her. And I think, she deserves that call up and really impressive. I think next season is going to be a massive, massive season for her. I'm going to rely on her. So, yeah, I want to go with her.
I mean, it's her first season with Chelsea, like properly.
Yeah, exactly.
Playing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. Like, it's exceeded my expectations.
First full season.
Yeah.
So I know she played a couple of years back for like a couple of games, but that's not the point. The point is your first full season. And
yeah.
Ollie, who have you got?
I think it would be a crime for one of us not to mention Lauren James.
Yeah, she's considered the.
It's too obvious, though, isn't it? It's too obvious. We've just gone for Cole Palmer. We can't go for another obvious one.
I know, but like, I think in terms of, she really has made like a massive impact this season, and like she's been that kind of player who can just make a bit of magic and win a game. Like, and I think that's just so important for teams like Chelsea, where you need someone who can just eke out that little bit more, who has that something that's just a little bit different, and she's got the X factor. She really does. I also wanted to do a quick shout out. If she was mentioned, I was going to go for Hannah Hampton because she
that's a good shout.
Something like a 76% save percentage this season. Unbelievable. Really, really good.
Not bad.
Right. This is always an interesting one. Most improved player. Now, I picked Mark Cucurella because last season he sucked, and this season he didn't.
I think you could have so many of our players this year.
Yeah, it's a very, very big pool this year.
Except Mudryk, obviously.
I couldn't put him in there.
To be fair,
he has improved, but he's not most improved.
Mudryk has improved.
Most improved is the award. Not you did all right, mate. Well done.
Yeah.
Mudryk gets a participation trophy. I was going to go with Jackson because I think
that's a great shout.
Over the season, I think at the start of the season, especially like maybe with a bit more with his mentality than his ability, getting a lot of silly yellow cards. He was making a lot of mistakes, and he still is. But I actually thought as the season went on, he only got better. And that for me is what, most improved should mean.
Okay, fair enough. What about you, Berth?
I think I want to go Caicedo. I think from the start of the season. From the start of the season till now, I think there's been a dramatic improvement. Like I said, since January onwards, I think he's been faultless in everything he's done. He scored from the halfway line the other day. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
But he's become less rash. He's more confident. There's that style quality in him now that I can see. And I say about October, November, I was like, I don't think he's worth the money now at all. Now he's changed my mind, and I think he really has improved. And I think, 112 million is still a lot of money, but I think he's improved drastically, and he's now a fantastic player and a really important player for us. And his performances have been unreal, really.
Chris?
I'm going to go with Conor Gallagher.
Yeah, that's a good one, actually.
Not because he improved as the season went on, but I think if you'd said a year ago he would be playing 51 games this season, captain in the team, I don't think anyone would have believed you when you look at the player that he was 12 months ago.
I think giving him the armband has really helped him.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And I like players like that. He hasn't shied away from the responsibility.
No.
It says a lot about our transfer activity that players that we signed this season got the most improved player award. It really does. Signing of the season. Is it pretty unanimous? Is it?
Is it?
I went Palmer.
Is it close?
I went Palmer. Had to.
I think it has to be Palmer. It has to be.
I know where you're going, Ollie.
I gave it to Caicedo.
Yeah, I thought you might.
Only because I gave Palmer, like the obviously best men's player, and nobody's going to doubt that. He's been absolutely incredible. But I do think Caicedo offers something really important to this team in terms of in terms of how it functions, and especially now with breaking up the play. A really good DM is so hard to come by, or box to box, whatever you want to call it. A really good player like him is really hard to come by. He's a unicorn, and I just think he's proved that. I think any player who proves that they're worth over 100 million is a good signing.
I personally think that whilst I do agree with you, and I'm not sort of disagreeing here, but I think we've been crying out for a goal scorer for years and years. And we've bought two players. One scored 14 goals in the Premier League this season. the other scored 22 goals and got 11 assists.
No doubt.
So I think for
basically
me,
just
it has
wanted
to be
give
one
it-
of them two.
I just wanted to give it to someone different.
Yeah.
And that's okay. But I think overall, I mean, Jackson, I do love, and I think Jackson is probably second, but I think I've got to give it Cole Palmer just for that.
Fully.
That's fair.
Best player to sit on the bench for most of the season award. I gave it to Ian Matson because he was subbed on 11 times this season. And now he's in a Champions League final and he's going to come back with so much swag if he lifts that trophy. That's why he's there. That's why he's the award winner. That's not why he's there in Dortmund to win the Champions League. I mean, if he does it, fair play to him. But Ollie, who's yours?
I gave it to David Washington. And the reason
He
I
did sit there a lot.
He did sit on the bench a lot, and he didn't really get many chances to play in the first team. But when he played in the academy and in the under-21s and stuff, he was always too good for them. So, like, for me, he was like he's almost in this weird position where he's too good for the level he's at, but not good enough for the level he needs to be at to play.
Yeah,
and that's why he was on the bench a lot.
Chris.
I've gone with Madueke
Oh, good shout.
because
He did spend a lot of time out, didn't he?
yeah, until like the last 10 games of the season, he didn't. He sat on the bench most games, and I think there was a lot of talk this season about Mudryk needed a run of games to get going, and no one ever really said that about Madueke, even though his substitute performances was actually better than Mudryk's was. I think he's someone who I actually think he probably should have been brought into the starting lineup earlier than he was, and he's shown in the back end of the season, sort of the last third of the season, that there is potential there with Madueke. I just think it's more refining his game for Madueke and realizing that sometimes in certain games you just have to use the ball better.
Berth, who have you got?
I think, I mean, I want to go with this player. I want to go Trevor Chalobah because I think whilst I know he has started the past couple of games, when he has been on the bench, I know he's injured as well, but when he has been on the bench, we've looked leaky. But ever since he's come in, I think we've actually looked a lot better at the back.
Okay.
And I don't think he's ever played and not gave a 7 out of 10. So for me, I think, and again, you could argue that he could be one of the most improved players of the season because I think since he's come in, he's been fantastic. So I'm going to go Chalobah.
Meme of the season. For me, I put anything posted by EFL Simpsons about Chelsea, and I reached out to them, and that account they said they've picked Mikel Arteta trying to win the Premier League, FA Cup, and Champions League, but losing them all, and they commemorated it with Bart Simpson playing 3 games of chess at the same time and losing all 3. Yeah. Ollie.
I like that. Actually, I wanted to give a shout out to one of my favorite memes of the season, just because I don't think people will have heard of it. Was I think it's Bassman93 on Twitter. Shout out if you're listening to this. Where he's got it's the gif of Homer Simpson like doing the thing where he runs in a circle on the floor, and it says, "But Dad, I don't think Paul Winstanley is the great negotiator we thought he was," and that really made me laugh. But in terms of actual meme of the season, I'd go with 3 Little Birds at Crystal Palace.
Yeah, I'm with that 100%.
That's got to be it, surely. Especially when we score, when we scored, it's really. I think it carried us through a really difficult point of the season.
Chris, you agree?
That's mine as well.
That's fair. The Lucas Piazzon Award. I love this one. It's the loanee that's going to go on loan next season. I went with Andre Santos because I'm pretty sure he's going on loan.
Yeah, I mean that's a good guess, isn't it? I'm going to give it to the exact same person I gave it to last year, Harvey Vale.
Oh, bloody hell, that's a shout. I forgot about it.
Remember him?
Yeah, he still exists.
Because I don't think there's any chance he's going to come back in and be in contention for the first team. Only just because, like, I think where he would play is at left back, and I don't know. I feel like there are so many more. I think we're more likely to sign someone to play there instead of let him play there. So
that's fair. Berth?
I'm going to go with, this might be controversial, Amari Hutchinson.
Yeah. Do you think he'll go back to Ipswich?
Oh, yeah, I think he's going to go back to Ipswich on loan for a season, which I don't think is a bad move, actually, because he knows the club, at least his Premier League experience now, and I think he will obviously get game time. He'll be their star player, and I think that'll be a really, really good move for him. So, yeah.
Okay. Biggest fan overreaction to anything, I gave it, whenever Mykhailo Mudryk did anything. I mean, that guy could have tied his shoelaces and the fans would have screamed that he's going to win the Ballon d'Or. But if he jogged during a game instead of sprinting, outcry he's lazy and overrated.
You're right. He was like a multiplier, wasn't it? Anything he did was either better or worse by the fact that he did it.
What about you, Chris?
To be fair, it literally could be any time we lose a game.
You can give it to any time we lose a game.
yeah, I think that. Yeah, I think I would have to give it to that. I think any time this season we lost a game, the overreaction was no. Actually, no, I don't want to do that.
Oh.
Every time Pochettino announced a lineup.
Oh, I love that.
I like that.
No, go on, Ollie. What was it?
I was just going to say, Chris called the audible on the play there. You know, like just he was going for a what was it, like a 3-man run, and then he changed it up for a QB sneak.
I love it. I love it. Right, Berth.
I think I'm going to go for a non-Chelsea one. I'm going to go for Mark Goldbridge when we won 4-3.
Oh yeah.
Oh my
yeah.
God. I don't want to do this anymore.
Oh god.
But it wasn't even that. It's the fact that afterwards he went, Chelsea fans, I can't believe you're celebrating that. You know, bear in mind, we just in the
Wins a win.
90th minute.
To be fair,
like coming back from 3-2 down after like in the 90th minute and the 100th minute. I mean, come on.
It was the worst one of the worst performances of the season as well.
I'll be honest, I couldn't give a shit. Like, we won in the last minute against Man U, so I couldn't give a fuck, really. But Mark Goldbridge going, Chelsea, you're shit. You're rubbish. I don't want to be here anymore. Grow up, mate.
It's birthed the meme. I don't want to do this anymore. I love it.
Right, Ollie, what was yours?
It was just every single time Todd Bowley has spoken about absolutely anything to the media.
Oh, that's fair. That's fully agree.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Just because like everyone's just microanalyzed absolutely everything he said, you know, and then been like, he's wiped his nose. He hates the club. It's like, what are you doing? Like, calm down.
Best, what was your highlight of the weekend? As suggested by listener Chris Bailey, you know what? Bit of recency bias, but I went the Northern Lights. I can't beat it, can I? I can't do it. It's something I've wanted to see for like my whole life, and I saw it. It's my moment. It's there. What about yourselves? Go on.
Ooh, I've got one. You know,
no, go on.
I've got one. Ollie, this will tie in with you actually because it's actually a really sweet moment. I'm about to say, Ollie getting married.
Oh, lovely
That's
stuff.
a great one. That's a great one.
Lord knows I spoke about it enough.
If Ollie doesn't pick his own wedding now.
I genuinely haven't. My one is Chris decorating and the saga with it.
That was good.
Yeah.
That was a good trilogy.
Yeah.
That 3 weeks was unbelievable.
We're still waiting. We're still waiting for the update. And
it
one
was
day
never
it will come.
officially concluded, was it? Chris?
No, I mean, to be fair, it is finished.
That's good.
We changed it to it's just like a desk now because she wanted to start playing. She wanted to start playing FIFA. So,
do you know what? That's admirable.
Yeah.
That's your highlight. I was going to say if that's his.
Yeah, Chris decorating was my highlight.
Yeah. Chris,
you know, I think my one would be, just every time Ollie said, just had a quiet one.
Yeah, he had a quiet one, didn't he?
Yeah.
Really quiet one.
And God knows, we all know that was a lot.
Yeah,
it was.
Lord knows. On the podcast here is the only time I'm ever not quiet.
Right, so penultimate award is Alan Hansen's award for the most ridiculous statement or hot take, and this one, I've got to say it was literally any tweet about Cole Palmer signing for Chelsea, and my two favourites are FPL Gundo, who said, "We sold Palmer for 45 and got Docky for 60. Laugh my ass off, insane business as always." And Ollie of Man United, not our Ollie, this is of Man United Ollie, who said, "This is good. Anthony is 10 times better than Cole Palmer." That aged well. Oh
God.
Jeez,
I mean,
absolutely ridiculous.
I don't know what 10 times what, 0? Because that's still no, because it'd be 0. They'd be equal then. Oh, we don't know. No, I mean Cole Palmer is, I think, slightly better.
Anthony spins around 10 times more than Palmer.
Oh, that is true. He did. Cole Palmer hasn't done that yet.
You know, I think Anthony is actually the highest statistical player for most spins per 90.
Yeah. What was your most ridiculous statement or hot take you've heard, or do you think that's kind of one?
You know what? I actually heard one earlier that I think is probably the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. It's from Ben AFC on TikTok. Don't know if any of you know who he is.
No.
Just look at his TikTok. So I won't say any more about it. But he said, that Pele was number one best player ever, which fair enough.
Okay, that's a fair point.
I'm sure he's never watched him play, but I'll let that slide.
No, Ben AFC is actually 90 years
Do
old.
you know what player he said was second?
Hang on, he's AFC.
Bukayo Saka.
As he said, Declan
No.
Rice is the second best player of all time.
No, actually not an Arsenal player, to be fair, not an Arsenal player. He said Rodri was the second best player.
Oh my word! Oh,
well, he's got to find some way to justify
I'm
City.
not
Yeah,
gonna be watching
that is just ridiculous.
wow!
Now, I like Rodri. I really do like Rodri. And I think Rodri is by far the
He's a
best
good
CDM.
player.
And you could argue he's the best midfielder in the world at the minute. But to say he's the second best player ever,
So
he's ridiculous.
Well, he's not even the best midfielder of all time.
No.
Well, no, exactly.
For his position, Lothar Matthäus is streaks ahead of him.
Yeah.
There you go. Right, but Chris, what's yours?
Do you know what? The one thing that I think has really annoyed me this season has been rival fans suddenly wanting to take penalties away, but only from Cole Palmer.
Yeah,
So
that is annoying.
every time this season, mainly Arsenal fans, when arguing about who's better, whether Palmer or Saka's better, keep bringing up Palmer scored 9 penalties, and it's like he's still got more goals without penalties than Saka, and it's like, yeah, but take his penalties away. Yeah, he's still better than Saka, mate. So shut up, just shut up. Like, I don't know why all of a sudden people don't want to count penalties as goals.
Yeah, it's a weird.
Because
one.
he's a Chelsea player, mate.
that's annoying me. It annoys me,
Yeah.
You know what? Outside highlight for meme of the season, that.
Oh yeah, it was this season. Wow.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
It's been a long year.
Yeah.
I should have picked that.
Most ridiculous hot take for me was anyone who said we would go bust or be relegated because of financial fair play.
Oh, that's still going on. That'll still go on next season and season
Yeah,
after.
but we're not going. There's no chance
Nah.
of going bust. There's no chance of getting relegated. Anyone who was doom mongering like that's an idiot.
Yeah, that's pretty fair.
That's fair.
Right. Finally, we have the award for disappointment of the season, and it is forever sponsored by Chelsea's 22-23 season. For me, recency bias hits again. Reece James's return from injury, bagged an assist, then in his second game, straight red, 4-game ban. See you next year. See you next season.
Yeah, for me, there is only one standout disappointment this season, and it was losing that cup final to that Liverpool team.
Yeah, that's mine.
Yeah.
That's mine.
That was quite disappointing, actually. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, especially when you seen the team sheet, and then you seen the subs he was bringing on, and you thought,
actually.
we can't lose this.
I know. We did. We're magic like that. Right. That's our awards wrapped up.
Oh wait, hang on.
Oh.
I've got disappointment of
Oh,
the season.
sorry, Ollie. Go ahead. It's not wrapped
My
up.
disappointment. My disappointment.
Ollie,
of the season is-
please say your wedding. That would make me laugh so much. Please say your wedding.
Actually, my disappointment of the season was just being snubbed for getting to put my disappointment of the season award. It was injuries. Just the medical department generally. Like I think if they don't happen, this season's well different.
Injuries?
On my knee.
Oh, that's reminding.
It's another outside one of the
The meme of the season. I mean, someone had one person complained about, I don't like it. They played my knee too much, and once was too much. Apparently, I don't. Oh well,
do it again.
Well, how many? You tell you what. What was our? We had 2 injuries, didn't we, at the end of the season? Like to conclude it. Oh,
On my knee.
there we go. 2 injuries. Right. Right. Look, don't go anywhere just yet, listeners. I teased you all on last Monday's show about an announcement, and we left it right to the end to reveal. Next month marks the 5 years anniversary of At the Bridge Pod. And to celebrate this milestone, we're going to be launching a lovely brand new anniversary logo and a header, which will be on Twitter. That'll have gone live tonight as this episode launches. And you can also get ready for a special fantasy draft episode where we'll be drafting our top Chelsea moments in the past 5 years. And this episode is going to release on the 10th of June. So that not only marks our 400th episode, but it actually coincides with the exact date of our very first episode launch. I just thought that was like really cool. And look, thank you genuinely for all your love, all your support. And we hope to have you with us during the off season. 2 shows a week, much more to come. I mean, look, we started Berth and I, the Chris joined, Ollie joined. Could you be joining this?
Good scouting.
Good. That was a great
scouting.
shout from Berth. That was a great shout. Great scout. To be fair, Berth was the one that spoke to me first about it. And then, so technically he did create it. He did create it.
Oh, stuff it. Come on, just stuff it, please.
You
You're making me
created
blush now. You're making me blush
go on,
now.
Berth.
Well, it's just nice. It's just not like me and Mikey. I'm sure we didn't realise how like much this would grow. And
No
like,
way,
I'm
no
sure
way. Yeah,
we,
yeah.
we didn't expect for this to keep going on 5 years later.
No.
So like for this to happen, and like genuinely our fans, and we love them all, and love having Ollie on, love having Chris on.
Yeah.
You know, it's just great to be a part of, and
I love
every
the,
minute of it.
and genuinely, I love the Discord community because I've made some good friends from that, and I think other people have also made friends with it. It's just like that's awesome. I mean, come on, it is awesome.
And now, Berth is getting recognised while he watches telly in bathrooms
In urinals.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you know,
living the dream, eh,
never stop, never
stop
chasing your
stopping.
dreams. Never stop chasing your dreams. Aim high.
Yes,
High.
exactly. Right. Thank you for listening to this episode. Treat yourself well. We'll be back on Friday because you know what we're going to be doing? Looking at our predictions. And I already know who I picked for ones to watch this season. And they really weren't ones to watch. So with that, that's us signing off. You've been listening to At The Bridge Pod, a Chelsea FC podcast. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram by searching for At The Bridge Pod. And if you're listening on Apple or Spotify, leaving us a review is always appreciated.